Hey everybody, Dan Bailey here with some more photography insight for you. Today I want to talk about the concept of abbreviation and how it plays out in photography and in art. I've long been fascinated by the concept of sketching. It's one of the simplest and often the most compelling and intriguing art forms there is. Pencil, paper, some squiggles, a few lines, maybe some shading, and you're done. You don't even need that much detail. In fact, the less you show with a sketch, oftentimes it tends to look better. One of my favorite travel books I read a long time ago is a book called The Back of Beyond by David Yaden. Every one of the tales in his book is illustrated with a simple pencil sketch. They do a wonderful job bringing you into his world and telling you the story about the places he's visited. I find that when I go to art galleries, I'm much more intrigued by the paintings and the drawings than I am by the photographs. I used to wonder why this is. As a pro photographer, am I just too jaded to appreciate art photos? No, that's not it. What defines the issue for me is that as photographers, we often struggle with the concept of creating versus capturing, photographs versus pictures, real life versus art. Art is not about reproducing the world. Uh-oh. So we just had a little earthquake right there. Apparently I have a good tripod because it didn't rattle during the shake, so that's a good thing. Anyway, art is not about reproducing your subject. It's about representing your scene. It's about abbreviating and showing a small sliver of the world that appeals to you and in such a way that it communicates those ideas and the feelings you have to your viewer. Most visual artists are forced to work within this limitation because the simple fact is their mediums will never be able to reproduce real life as we see it. With the exception of a very few realist painters, most visual artists don't seek to replicate the real world in their art. They strive to create visual representations of the world and at the same time while imparting a certain sense of style or individuality to their work to give it a specific flavor. And we photographers are not bound at all by those representational limitations that most visual artists have. With a camera, we can point our lens at the world and capture every single aspect of the scene in near perfect detail. And that's what a lot of beginning photographers often do. However, accuracy is not art. Real isn't necessarily art. We live real. We see it in front of us happen every single minute of every day. And just seeing it again reproduced exactly as it was doesn't necessarily excite us. What excites us is seeing an abbreviated view of the world, seeing a specific part of the scene that captures our imagination or imparts a specific message or emotion. Or paying attention to specific details that we might not have noticed in the first place because we're moving too fast in life when we passed it by. What moves us about a photograph is the way that a few subject elements interact and relate with each other within the context of a very defined yet small set of borders. We're inspired and intrigued not by the exactness of our subjects, but by the way the light plays upon their subjects in ways that few people ever get to see, or by a fleeting expression that went by so fast and yet moved our hearts and evoked a very powerful emotion within us. The most compelling photographs show only a part of the scene, and this engages our brains to imagine the rest. Anytime you make your viewer an active participant in the viewing process or engage their imagination, you've gone a long way towards creating a compelling photograph. You can tell the same story with a widely cluttered photo with a lot of information in there, or with one that's much more simplified that has just a few elements. Which one do you think is going to be more powerful and more engaging to look at? With our modern cameras, we have the power to show everything in such amazing level of detail, but we owe it to our viewers to trim down the fat and only show them what's necessary to communicate the ideas that we're trying to get across, and only give them just enough to tell a story in a very powerful way. Don't give them the whole meal, give them a snack, give them bits and pieces, give them a little bit here, a little bit there, enough to get their brains involved and so they can start working the scene and start traveling across the frame with their eyes and their brains. Just give them a smattering of real life. Play a little game with yourself. How little of the scene can you show and still get the message across? I love this game and I play it all the time in my photography. And I guarantee if you incorporate these ideas into your photography and practice enough, you'll be able to create much more powerful imagery. You need a little help? Go to the art gallery. Look at art books. Look at famous paintings. Pay careful attention to actually what's going on in the painting or the drawing. See how little they actually show and still get the feeling across. Take Impressionist paintings, for example. If you look closely, a lot of times it's just big dots on the canvas. But stand back and you'll start to fill in the story. Your brain will put it all together and you'll get the message even though up close it looked like just a bunch of dots. And what about Bob Ross? For God's sake, the guy painted happy little trees with a putty knife. A few little stabs here and there and smears, and we believe it. That's the power of art, and that's the power of the human visual system. Go one step further and try this yourself. Pick up a pencil and a piece of paper and try to sketch something. Try to draw a subject with as few lines and squiggles as possible. Maybe just concentrate on the shading and the shadows and the light. Either way, get a feel for how abbreviating a subject invites your own imagination to fill in the blanks and imagine the rest of the scene and piece the story together. Not only will this help you see more creatively as a photographer, but practicing other forms of art will stretch your creative muscles and make you a better artist. And the next time you're out shooting with your camera, go with the mindset of not to capture, but to create. And you'll find that the more you abbreviate in your photography, the more your images will have the power to actually draw your viewers in and engage their brains. So that's all for now. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this lesson. If you like what you see here, please subscribe to my channel, and feel free to visit my website and blog at danbaileyphoto.com. So have fun with your camera out there, and we'll see you next time.